How could you do this to anybody? I'm like, oh no, what happened? Why would you do that? Why would you treat one of our buyers this way?
I just was thinking about all the starving children out in the world, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. We are headed to the other cabin. Today's been a crazy day, and let me tell you, yesterday was tough too. I got a negative feedback, and it was maybe a couple days ago. And I can't wait to talk about that. We do have a bunch of sales. I still haven't shipped out a couple things that I should have shipped out yesterday, so you'll see that in there. Then I'm gonna try to get Blue Ridge Mama back in this video here today. She was in yesterday's because I got a question to ask her, and maybe it's in the title, I don't know, but we'll see. Man, I got boxes out here. This is crazy, but we got some really cool sales. Let's go take a look. We just have one of the puppies. Where's your brother at in here today? And I gotta turn off this AC and turn on this light back here. And we're gonna get to pulling and get to talking here today. And there's gonna be plenty of both. Maybe some fireworks at the end if I can get Blue Ridge Mama in here. Speaking of Blue Ridge Mama, I bought this first one with the intent of maybe giving it to her, and it found its way into the shed when I was unloading stuff, and I listed it instead. It is a Stanley thermos, and it's brand new. Whoa, that was sticking out. Got me right there. There's the brother. What are you doing? Hey, come on. You're not gonna go back there. And these still sell well, y'all. She bought a bunch of these when they were going insane a while back, but I found some at the yard sale. I think I paid $5 for it. It might have been, you know what? I bought this at the beginning of the 100 mile, and it was $1. That's all I paid for this. That's why I bought it. And it sold for $29.95 plus shipping. I also saw a yard sale last week with tons of Stanley thermoses out there, and they were asking 30 bucks a piece at a yard sale for them. I'm going to get this negative feedback pulled up and tell you this story here in just a second. But before I do, I sold something that I don't sell. I don't sell Playboys. I don't sell pornography and stuff like that. It's just not really what I do. Plus, my wife would kill me. But I made an exception, and I even bought it at a yard sale. And I told her, I was like, hey, I bought a Playboy today. She looked at me like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, I did. And we sold it. Well, I've sold it now. And I may have undersold it, actually, but I'm extremely happy with it. Paid $50 for it. And I think I probably could have got more for it. I haven't seen the sun in 2 days. It finally came out while I'm sitting out there. See that box right there? I got for this thing, and it's just a little too short, which is why I didn't ship it last night. So I'm going to have to readjust. Here it is, Playboys and Care Bears. Only in the Commonwealth cabin. This Playboy right here is all Braille. All Braille. It's the only picture in the whole thing. It's just all Braille. I used to have a blind babysitter when I was a kid, y'all. She was awesome. I don't think she'd read this, though. At any rate, this is 1970s on this one. And it sold, about it for $50. It sold for $200. Plus shipping. So you have, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you've seen me over the years talk about negative feedback, and I take blame when it's our fault, and I definitely will go into great detail when it's like, man, why do people do this kind of thing? And sometimes it's nefarious, sometimes it's not. This one is our fault. There's no doubt about it. And you'll see that from this person's comments and from their negative feedback. However, there's still a good way to go about things, and this was this one just kind of made my eyes roll a little bit. Haven't had a negative feedback in a while, and it's kind of disappointing because we were at 90, we had gone back up to 99.7, and I'm like, it's gonna go back to like 99 because I've got a few that are just about ready to fall off, and it's like, man, we're gonna be at 99.9, and I could see like 6 months from now, if we don't get any negative feedback, we'll be at 100%. I have long since stopped caring about that, or at least said I did, but it still would be awesome to have 100% feedback, but I just don't think it's going to happen, especially after this one. I have not done anything to ask for a revision or anything like that because we made the mistake. However, I still might ask. I don't think it's going to work based on this. So what we did was we sold we sold some Harley shirts, 2 Harley shirts for $16.95 plus shipping. And then I sold a pair of Nike baseball pants and sold those, I don't know, 10 something plus shipping. And I get a message on my, I'm like, here we go. This is it. How could you do this to anybody? I'm like, oh no, what happened? Please send me my 2 Harley shirts. I got a pair of Nike pants. I got a pair of baseball breeches instead of 2 Harley t-shirts. And they were like 9 feet long. No human would need them. They might fit a giraffe. And then they send a picture of the thing. I got the point on the first few. I couldn't wait to get those shirts. They wouldn't let me send my first message. I don't know what that means. And then I say this. I'm very sorry for the mix-up. It looks like I mixed up 2 orders. You have my apologies. I will make it right for you. I'm sending you a full refund immediately. I wish I could get the 2 shirts to you, but the person who bought the baseball pants got your shirts. It was my mistake in shipping. I mixed the 2 orders up. I'm sending you a refund right now. And of course, I also messaged the person who was supposed to get the baseball pants and told them in advance, because they hadn't showed up yet, that I made a mistake. And really, should I say I made a mistake? I don't know. We'll get to that later. Any rate, that's what I did, and I sent them both immediate refunds. But then I look at my feedback, and the negative feedback was already on there. They had sent the negative feedback immediately before they even sent that message. I'm like, man, that really, really stinks. Because obviously, people make mistakes. Most people are understanding of the mistakes. We have not done the mix-up, the switcheroo, in a very long time. I mean, it's happened over the years. I'm popping my bubble here. It's happened, I don't know, maybe a dozen times that I can remember in the last 20. Hey, no. You're not getting up there this time. Okay, all right. Come on. There you go. You saw the dog come in. It's you two that are the problem. You're the problem. She doesn't get up there unless you two come in after her. Maybe some of you are the perfect resellers and that's never happened to you before, but you got to keep in mind, we have sold, are we getting like 15,000 feedback? I mean, we've been selling a long, long time. That stuff happens. But the systems we have in place over the last few years, that stuff almost never, ever happens, but it obviously did. So I'm going to have to eat that feedback. I was hoping once I left that reply, they would message me back and say, okay, I understand or whatever, but nothing, just crickets. Whatever, their prerogative. If somebody sent me the wrong thing, I'd be upset about it too. I don't think I'd go and leave negative feedback. I think I would talk to them first, but things happen. I just realized I didn't actually read you the feedback. I just read you the messages. I'm gonna have to shut this door so the cat doesn't get in there. I guess I could also contact eBay, and I don't think they're gonna change it, but you never know. I remember picking this up at a sale, thinking, I bet this will sell. And I was right. It did sell. It was a really, really nice condition. Tommy Bahama. There's a fly in here. Go. Toiletry bag. It's got the little hook on it. And it unzips and folds out. But it was clean as a whistle. I'm like, you know what? That's probably worth a couple bucks or whatever I paid for it. It wasn't much. And it did sell $22.21 plus shipping. So here's the actual feedback left. And it says, I ordered 2 shirts, but got a pair of Nike sissified pants. This is why I don't hold out hope that some kind of, reasoning with somebody and apologizing and saying, hey, it would be nice if you changed the fee. Anybody who leaves 4 straight messages basically saying the same thing in a matter of minutes, leaves the negative feedback, and then that's the negative feedback, probably not somebody who's going to work with me, especially if it was my mistake. But, yeah, I think we all, owe each other a little bit of grace from time to time, and I certainly don't think that this person's an eBay seller because they would probably realize that because we all do make mistakes. You're such a good boy, unlike your brother. You are a good boy. Oh, look at that. You opened the door for me. Harley Davidson, size XL, made in India, button down. Pretty nice quality shirt, actually. Got the embroidery on the sleeve and on the back. American flag on the other sleeve. That one sold for $19. It was sold on discount, I think. Sold for $19.46. Plus shipping. I bought this one down in Florida. I remember paying $2.50 for it. They were $3 a piece. I bought a bunch of them for, 2 for $5 kind of thing. So I've got a little discount and decent little profit. So tell me a little bit here. Tell me how you're doing on your feedback. Tell me, it's tough for new sellers, boy. You really can't afford that negative feedback at the beginning, but we sell so much volume that, 99.6 isn't the end of the world. I certainly would love to have it back up to, 99.8, 99.9, but it's not. All you got to do is try to do the right thing all the time. You're going to fail from time to time. None of us are perfect. But I feel like if you do a decent amount of volume and try your absolute best, you're not going to have a terrible negative feedback. And it is a team effort around here. Of course, me and my wife do a ton of work. Jess, she helps with these lives, y'all. I can't even tell you. If you were in this place earlier, I had already run a live show. My wife was in running a live polish and brush show, perfume and makeup and all that, polishandbrush.com. And Jess was out here shipping the Commons show while me and Heather were in there. I never say my wife's name. Her name is Heather. We were in there running that polish and brush show. And then we got everything and loaded it up. And I went and got my dad's truck because they're on a cruise. And took stuff to the post office. Got more boxes. Still haven't shipped this thing yet. We've been running like crazy today while Jess shipped the polish and brush show. And my wife was listing and then took the kids to practice. And I've just been going like crazy. Speaking of, this is why I said all that. This right here, very Hollywood Michael Kors. Now I got to give credit where credit is due. My dad went to a sale when I was down at Turner's game on a Saturday. I went to sales too, and then I went to Turner's game, and that's 2 hours away. And so he decided to go to a sale, and he bought just tons of Harley shirts that we sold almost all of them over on dibbeditthreads.com. Because I have so much. I can't list it all. A lot of you folks out there are like, why don't you list that on eBay? Why don't you list it? Listen, we're listing a ton on eBay. Our eBay sales are up. We're doing better than we ever have on eBay. But I'm buying more to do that and to do this. And we're making money on both. We're ramping it up. It is a team effort. My dad found this. And he paid $5 for it. Michael Kors, very Hollywood. Sold for $90 pop. Plus shipping. And people always criticize me all the time for, you make your dad carry all the stuff, you make your whatever. Listen, I wish you knew the dynamic that went on between, obviously you can't, you're not watching everything, but he doesn't want a dime for this stuff. My dad's never had a whole ton of money. He still doesn't want a dime for any of this. He mows my grass, doesn't want a dime for it. Now we still take care of especially spoil my mom because everything my dad does for us. He's just one of those people where money's just a tool to be able to do things for people and to have fun and whatever. And that's just the way he's always been. He's also cheap, which is where I learned that from. He's not going to waste money, but he's not going to ask for it from anybody either. Really, really nice to have them retire out here. I have not lived with them since I was 16 years old on the West Coast. Till they came back here. This is a sweet Dallas Stars hat. It does have the tag, but it has not been cleaned, so it's been a shelf sitter for a long time, and there's issues with it. But believe it or not, this one's a perfect time to sell it right here. $63.75 plus shipping. Me and my wife are very different people. Me and my dad, my mom, everybody, we're very different. I really enjoy being around. I got to find the right mugs here. Around people that are very different than me, that I don't necessarily see eye to eye with, because they can teach you things even if you don't want to learn them. And that's definitely a lesson that I could learn from my dad. So hopefully I can do that for Turner someday and repay the favor, Reagan, or my own kids, Bubba. Life is short, stay awake for it. I like that. You might remember these. I bought these in Florida. Got a stink bug in this one. We get stink bugs in here every once in a while. Have to wipe that one out. And I was at a Goodwill, and I'm like, do I want to get these? I think they're $1.99 a piece. And I was like, you know what? I think I can, because I can sell them together. Caribou Coffee. Put them together, and we can get a sale worth doing. If it was, $1.99 into, $12 or something, it's like, not great. But $2 times 2 is 4, and it sold for $24.95. So at that, I think it's worth the pickup, especially at the overpriced Goodwill that I was at. Had 2 viewer sales today, and we have a ton more sales to go, but I'm doing back to back here. And this one, I'm going to guess it's up here, and I guessed wrong. So, no, I didn't. There, I saw it right there when I closed it. Shout out to my friend Leroy Blood, Sweat, and Sell. He sent me a picture of one of these one day that he picked up. He said, you ever see these out there? Pick them up. I'm like, okay, I will. And I saw one, and I picked it up. It's a vintage Stanley beveled edge chisel made in the USA. And it was listed for quite a while, so it went out on discount. But on discount, this chisel sold for $29.25 plus shipping. And it went to Carolyn. Carolyn, thank you. I appreciate this. This is one, I think you've bought a few things and left messages in the messaging system, and I never, ever see them. You got to leave it on the purchase, y'all, as a note to seller. So, Carolyn, again, tell me how to buy on Flipper. Oh, I think that's like tongue-in-cheek, like, you know, how to leave this message. I can solve chemical equations, but not sure about Flipper. Do you have any baseballs for sale? I don't, not right now. I always give most of them to Turner. I donate sports equipment to local kids. I was AD, athletic director, and AP. I taught AP, where I taught bio and chem. Holy moly. Whew. But always love to help kids. Thanks, Carolyn, from East Central Illinois. Carolyn, thank you, and I hope you enjoy it. And next one is a viewer sale as well. So I figured we'd knock them both out in this video. If I find the right one here. I might have to dig through here to find it. I found it. Goodie Mob Cell Therapy. And that one, I picked this one up in Florida in a huge lot. We sold a few off, really, really nice ones, and we sold the rest over on Dibdit. And the name on here is Danielle. So, Danny Loves Treasures. And I don't think it's Daniel, it's Danielle. Love your YouTube channels. I've always been a picker, but you inspired me to start selling again, and I'm having a blast doing it. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're having a blast doing it. I think that's the majority of the folks out there. Which, by the way, I forgot to ask the majority of folks out there. Every time I talk about feedback, I would love to hear your crazy feedback stories. So it makes me feel a little bit better, like I'm not the only one out there. So tell me your crazy feedback stories down below. Let's say in the last year or so. Maybe go look at your feedback and find the most ridiculous one and put it in there. I'd appreciate that. And Danielle, this is, you know, I say it all the time, this is just fun for me. This doesn't even feel like a job. There's a lot of what I do that does feel like a job. But buying stuff cheap, putting it on eBay, selling it for a profit, I don't care if you make 20 bucks a month. It's fun, and I enjoy it. Sun went down out there really quick, and now it's getting windy. I'm afraid there's more rain headed our way. I have not been in this bin in a long time, and I first have to move this witch because it will absolutely break if I don't. And I don't know where to put it. So I'm going to walk it out here for a second. Put it there. And go back and get this. This is the golf club head cover bin. And various other things. We have NBA hats right here too. So I'll slide those over here. This one, I did not get my lost and found by this year from the golf course. Unfortunately, it's always a decent little thing I can do in the wintertime to make some money. There it is. So this isn't really full. I probably should reallocate some of this stuff and use it for something else. Like, you know, some of these hats we can put, I don't know. I've got a bunch of hats I should list, but we're going to actually be selling hats live. When you see this video, I think, no? Yeah, it'll be too late, I think. But this is not in good shape. It's a Spider TailorMade head cover, which is why it took so long to sell, but it did sell, $11.96 plus shipping. Hey, y'all, 2 mugs in one day. Make sure it's not over there, because I don't see it right off the bat. It's a Starbucks mug, and I could have picked up a ton of these in Nashville for $1 a piece, and I just passed on them. And I don't even see the right one here. This isn't good. Where's the Starbucks mug? All right, I'm sitting here talking about making mistakes, and I can't find that dang Starbucks mug. So it could be hidden up here, but I don't remember seeing it for a long time. And we have one other bin with bubble wrap. I guess it could be out in that other shed too, but I'm going to say I cannot find it for right now because I got to keep going, and I'll update you either at the end of the video or on the next one if I find that dang thing. But our coffee mugs always go there, so something's really fishy about this one. Remember how nice it was out here a little while ago? I looked inside. It's not in there either. So I'm wondering if this is going to be an issue with that mug. Probably will be, but we'll figure something out. This was at a sale, and I almost didn't buy it, but I just couldn't resist. Because this had the whole collection of the, what are these things called? They're Vanderbear, but they're called something else. I don't know. Cornelius, and it has all these. And I saw a comp on there. I'm like, man, sell-through rate was not good, but there's only a couple, and one sold. And I was like, you know, a couple singles. And I'm like, this is the whole thing. And it was $1 a plush. So I decided I would buy it. and it sat in my basement for a year and a half, but it finally sold. Sold for $94 plus shipping. Now, if I can't find that mug, it's gonna drive me crazy the rest of the video. You gotta see. And I search and I search until I find something, but I do have some other Starbucks mugs that I do have out there that we've never listed. So I will likely send them a free Starbucks mug. Well, I'll send them the mug, and then I'll send them a message and say, hey, I couldn't find the thing, and I'll give them a full refund. That usually makes people happy. Even if it's not what they want, they got a freebie, and it's somewhat similar, and I just pulled one out. The next one is one of my favorite things to sell. If you go way back on this show, 5 years ago, you remember me selling them all the time. Now I don't find them nearly as often, but if you ever see one out there, I suggest picking it up. Don't let it scare you because of how big it is. All right, somebody told me the other day it's time to clean my door, and they're absolutely right. I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because they're like, on the intro, it looks so clean. But it's not. All right, here it is right here. It's this thing, it doesn't look so big once you get it broken down. But when it's at a garage sale, hey. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Get persistent. It's not that big. Matter of fact, I looked for a box. I think I put it outside already. Whenever I buy one of these, I start the hunt for the box. And I got it a couple days ago. And this got listed about the same time. And it's been listed a little while. And it's sold. It's a purple ab roller, y'all. And if you break it down, I love you, Pepper. But I know you're in here for treats and trouble. If you break it down and you can kind of puzzle piece it together, and you see the shrink wrap, that's where the screws are. It's so easy to take apart, so easy to put back together, and you can ship it. And they sell so quick. This sold for $60 plus shipping. And it's just easy money if you're willing to do a little bit of work. The darn cat got in here again. I used to pick up all kinds of livery stuff all the time for $1, and now I don't anymore. It's a little bit more particular. But Nike Dry Fit, Liberty Lacrosse, thought it was worth $1 pickup, sold for $10.50 plus shipping. Next one I try to use a little strategy on, and so far it hasn't worked. This was a pickup. This one is sold as is. We couldn't get it to boot or anything. And I had a few of these. I gotta figure out which one's which here. We already have a few listed, but they're not all in here yet. This one is the sold as is one. I was like, you know what, put it out on auction. I've already made my money back on this sale with everything we bought by a long margin. And I'm like, I don't care. And it'll bring attention to the other ones a little bit. So this old MacBook, sold as is, was on auction and did not sell for very much at all. I was hoping for around $30, and it sold for $13.50 plus shipping. You know what? I said there was only 2 viewer sales, but there's actually a third. We sold an Animaniacs to Veronica. So thank you, Veronica. And I know I have one over here, right there, which I like to leave there. Look, think I can get this one? Watch this. Where's my yardstick? My yardstick's always right here. I was gonna knock it down. I'm too short to jump that high. Guess I'll have to get this thing right here. It's always good for something. Nothing else that's entertaining, and you can hope I don't break my neck. I like to use the old wooden ones. You know what? You could sell these on eBay, y'all. Look up these little step ladders, these old wooden ones. They like the ones with a little bit of character in them. Is it gonna hold me? I think it will. I gotta come up with a better system. We're finally digging into this stuff up here, y'all. And I like one kind of sticking out and people could see it. So let's get that there, and then there we go. Here, sit up here, buddy. There we go. Thank you, Veronica. I think I have one listed over on Dibdit.com right now. We're very sparingly selling these off. We do have the number 2 and the number 3 over there on CommonwealthPicker.com. It's raining like crazy. You want to sit on a Playboy? Here. Sit it now, because then I might ship it. There you go. Next one I want to tell a little story about. There are, I think, 4 of these that sold today. 2 of one model and then 2 separate sales of a different model. This is my concession prize. If you watch Trash Cash Podcast or Dave, where it was 2 days before Dave found the Eminem brick that's worth thousands of dollars at a yard sale. I was at that yard sale, and the prices were just pretty high as I worked my way around the sale. And then I saw somebody else at that sale who had a trailer and a bunch of new stuff. And I just walked right past a whole series of tables and went over there. Well, it was those series of tables that Dave eventually found that stuff. I think most of us pickers went to that sale and had the same type of feeling, and he's the one that went through, and I don't know, you know, I don't know if it's just the style of picking or whatever, but that's just me. I usually am pretty thorough, but when there's another sale to go to sometimes and the prices are just really, I mean, over eBay prices. I remember stopping at a table. I went through a bunch of tables and stopping at a table, and I saw a cool item and I comped it, and they were well over eBay prices. I'm like, man, not even eBay prices, well over it. And that's when I think I turned and I saw another seller. There was 3 sellers at that sale, and I'm like, well, I'll go check this guy out. And that's where I went past that whole table. And those items were all very high priced as well. But that one just happened to be an extremely rare item. So kudos to Dave for finding this. This is my concession prize. I don't know that it was there that day, but I highly suspect it was. Why wouldn't it be? But think about this. Thousands of sellers probably went through there. This was a highway sale. And it was there on the 3rd day. And this is why I told the story in there, because I didn't want to go inside. This is my one flaw in my system. Getting from here to in there. My chairs are all here since my dad mowed the grass last week. I haven't put them back out and they're just soaking wet. Well, I guess I'll make a run for it. I thought you wouldn't try to sneak in here again. All right, I got all 4 of them, y'all, but there's 2 different models here. These 2 sold together. I think he was asking $20 a piece. All right, I gotta get Pepper. Come on, kitty. Come on. I'm sorry, this video is me chasing Pepper around all night. I'll get you a treat. Come on. Come on. So I'm pretty sure here that I paid like $15 a piece, and I bought a whole ton of them. And they sell for like $60. These 2 together, different model than these, sold for $119 and change plus shipping. And then these sold separately for $59.95 a piece plus shipping. So, you know, 15 into 60 times, I don't know, however many I bought. Turned out to be a pretty good deal. Not nearly as good as the brick, but hey, you know, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. I'm happy that a friend of mine found that, although if he wouldn't have, I wouldn't have known it was there. But anyways, congrats to Dave on that one. I thought I'd be smart and grab 2 things in there. And then I look on my phone and I'm like, you know what? I think I have one more to go. This is a Vera tote. Still has the tag on it. I had higher hopes for this one, to be honest with you. It still sold pretty good, but it had to go on discount. $20. And what did this sell for, y'all? This one sold for $20.21 plus shipping. I thought I could get a little bit more for that one, but that pattern isn't quite as desirable as this pattern right here with the tags. It is really bright, brand new with tags. This one sold for $59 plus shipping. All right, once more into the breach. Let's go. And this one might surprise you a little bit. 1996 Atlanta Olympics. It is a champion tag right there, made in USA, which makes it a little bit more desirable. And that one sold for really good money. Actually, it didn't sell for as much as I wanted it to, because it went for 25% off, but $37.46 for that one, plus shipping. Look what I found sitting over here. That's why it wasn't hanging over there earlier. Why would you ship that guy some ridiculous...
People are going to be offended by my shirt.
Sissified pants. Why would you do that? Why would you treat one of our buyers this way?
I just was thinking about all the starving children out in the world, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to really tick this lady off by sending her baseball pants instead of what she really ordered.
Oh my goodness. Look, my wife's in here doing all the shipping. She yelled at me for coming in here and distracting her.
Look at this outfit. I got a camo crop pajama pants. I'm getting ready to go to bed, y'all.
Alright, I'll torture her now. Alright, y'all. Finally got this packaged up from the last video. And it's pretty cheap. It's going to Florida. It's only going to cost on FedEx Ground Economy $38, babe?
38.
38 and change. What was USPS going to be?
$103.
103. What about UPS? 60th? I think it was 60 something. So I charged $50. I'm so shocked it's going to be that cheap. This is that purple ab roller, y'all. What did we charge? 25 bucks? Yep. 25? $25.99 shipping. It was actually, with FedEx, under 20 bucks. So, got lucky twice. Hey, just as always, y'all, I want to say thank you for stopping by in my shed out here in the middle of nowhere, Virginia. We appreciate you. Hope sales are going all right for you. Hope you're not getting crazy feedback. That wasn't crazy feedback. It was well-deserved. So, anyway, thank y'all for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next time.